No, man, we got a rendezvous over on the other side.
Bull, there's the DZ. It's about 5 k's to the rendezvous. We've got to be there by 9, and then we've got about another 15 k's before the dawn attack.
Adio. What do you say, oh, what do you know? Whitney, what do you know? Take your hands and hold it high. What do you say, oh, what do you know? What do you say, oh, what do you know? Whitney, what do you know?
The Parabats are on the go. B Company, 1st Parachute Battalion, preparing for a night drop. Parachute battalions the world over have two things in common: a reputation for being crack troops and an eagle on their coat of arms.
Ready, 3, 2, 1, go! Howdy-yay, howdy-yo! Howdy-yay, howdy-yo! What do you say, what do you know? What do you say, what do you know? When you hear the paddle cry. When you hear the paddle cry. Paratroopers are passing by.
What is it about the Parabats that gives them their reputation? Are these men all that different from thousands of others in our defense force? Probably not. But there is one thing, though. They're all volunteers. They have chosen to join a battalion which plays hard and fights hard. They've chosen to jump into the slipstream of the C-130, knowing that when trouble comes, they're the men most likely to be called on.
What do you say? What do you know? Whittly, 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 whoa. Whittly, 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 whoa. Take one step and fall outside. Take one step and fall outside. Shoot the opening hole.
The Parabats have a reputation that is unique. They have earned that reputation, and they're proud of it. It's something that lives on, and new recruits are molded into the special combination of qualities that makes a paratrooper.
Perseverance, self-confidence, self-discipline, willpower. Add to this good leaders and good training, and you have a good paratrooper.
At Tempe, the battalion headquarters outside Bloemfontein, the first thing that impresses you is that they run everywhere and at all times. On Friday afternoons, the whole battalion, troops, NCOs, officers, cooks and bottle washers, the whole lot are invited to join the commanding officer, Commandant Orcus, in a 24-kilometer country run. Commandant Orcus.
The basic parachute training course is regarded as one of the toughest courses in the South African Army.
The training is tough, extraordinarily tough. But these are extraordinary soldiers. They jump out of aeroplanes, and a fit man is far less likely to hurt himself. Another thing, it costs the country a great deal to put a paratrooper into battle. So why send a man who'll break under pressure? Many don't make it through the basic PT. You hear about them. RTU, return to unit. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's also nothing to be proud of. One thing is certain. Anyone who can say, I did the Parabat PT course, will be looked on with respect.
Track, 70, 5, track, 18, track, 3, 5, track, 5, track, 5, stand up, Yan.
Before being accepted for Parabat training, one of the hurdles a recruit has to get over is the 1.5. 1.5 miles in full kit with a strict time limit.
Camp, 938, 939, 940. Camp, Corporal, up. 945. 5. Come on, Cook. Faster, faster. 950, 951, 952, 953. Come on, chaps. You can all make it. Faster, faster, faster.
Major Bluchnet.
We foresee that it will be required of them to stay in the operational area anything between 3 and 7 days after they've been dropped with the equipment and rations and ammunition that they had with them initially. So you must be able to keep on the move, and not only moving, you must be able to keep on fighting. And if you can't do it in peacetime, there's no way that he's going to do it in actual warfare.
Parabats are airborne troops, but their fighting is done on the ground. So before you teach them to jump, you teach them to fight. Gone are the days of massed paratroop battles like Crete or Arnhem. Nowadays, it's the patrol in the bush that wins the war.
Gaan there. Kita praktiken. Kom, dia. Gaan dia. Gaan dia, moenie bonal.
Let's do a quick debrief on the patrol we did today. First of all, a lot of mistakes which was made yesterday were sorted out today. But there are still a few things which we must get right. First of all, you are still inclined to bunch in your section formation. You must keep the distance behind the man in front of you. Secondly, hand signals. Van you must give the hand signals through which you receive from the man in front of you. Some of these guys come here and they get into an aeroplane for the first time in their lives. And the next day, he's got to jump out of that plane. So during the basic training in the hangar after the PT phase, we try and give him as much self-confidence as possible.
The most difficult part of parachuting is landing. So a great deal of time is spent in the hangar, teaching them how to hit the ground at 25 kilometers per hour without breaking anything.
Dat is, Ivan, jou mooi hier nog. Jy gaan sit nie. Moenie gaan sit. Ek van jou hier. Dan val jy daar wat ek hier moet doen. Moenie gaan sit nie.
All the training is graded. You start by jumping from a small height. You move higher and higher, until finally there are the flight trainers.
Jy spring, man. Jy spring, ek wil hê jy moet afstap. Go! Elbows in, knees together, dis mooi. Nou dat knie by mekaar, elleboog. That's very nice, Lieutenant.
Well, the ultimate aim of training of this unit is to provide the South African Army highly trained paratroopers. Because parachuting involves throwing oneself into space, which is an unnatural act. The aims of the 5-week basic parachute training course is, apart from teaching techniques, drills and procedures, to teach a man to overcome fear.
If there is one thing that most parachutists fear, it is a Roman candle. This is when the parachute fails to open properly and twists itself into a long, thin bundle. The result is spectacular, but not all that dangerous. All troopers carry reserve chutes. But it takes a cool head to remember what to do, and this is where good training comes in. It not only teaches you what to do, it also helps you to fight panic instinctively.
Just about each person reacts differently, but on the whole, of course, everybody's very scared. And the only thing that really gets them out the door is the drill, the proper drill that they had been taught for 2 weeks before they do that jump.
aircraft drill. Once you're in the plane, you're committed, and the whole operation must run like clockwork.
Go!
Sergeant Major Claassen.
Well, this apparatus is called the outdoor exit trainer, and this is where we teach the guys to do a proper exit from an aircraft. It gets him into a proper position into the door. And normally for the first jump, he does not worry much about the technique. All he wants the guy to do is jump out. This outdoor exit trainer is about 35 feet from the ground. And as far as we're concerned, we think this is a psychological height. Now, if a man has fear of heights, he will normally not jump out of this tower. Well, you sometimes get a guy that freezes, we call it freezing, he freezes in the door, and you just go up to him and, speak to him in a nice, soft manner, and then he goes. But you do get a couple of guys that once they get into the door, you'll never get them out of there. And we don't kick them out, by the way.
Jy duik so 'n bietjie uit. Jou kop is te ver voor en jou hele lyf moet regop wees. Jou drol is okay. Sien? Clear. Jy ou grootte, jou kop is so af. Jy moet reguit jou kop.
Moment you get the command go, the arm goes over and the legs get together. You were falling back on that command go. In other words, you were driving with your legs, but your top part of the body stayed behind. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay? Remember, keep your head forward, look straight forward, and drive out.
Oh, well, I was scared, very scared, and I just jumped out. I didn't feel anything really.
And now you're going to do your first jump when?
Oh, well, we're hoping to do it on Thursday. The flight experience on Wednesday, and then we'll jump on Thursday. You must probably jump with me, so that's all right. Oh, well, a couple of my mates, they came up about 2 years before me, and they just phoned me up and said to me, join up, it's a good camp. And I thought, I joined up.
And how's it been since you joined up?
Oh, well, it's been tough, very tough.
Especially this type of inspection, we would prepare for about 5 hours beforehand, the night before.
What do you do in your preparation?
Oh, there's plenty to do. Start with making your bed first. Empty your whole cuss out, wash it out, clean the floors, polish them.
Discipline, smartness, inspections. All necessary parts of army life. It's not just for show. Through the ages, the best soldiers have always been the smartest.
Senor, skryf neer sy naam. Baie netjies, Kers. Krediet, senor. Kriel en die?
Die vergeet moet aan te raken.
Kriel. Krediet vir 'n man met 'n vinnige brein.
Kyk hoe loskom en die ander voor die wind jou na die tuin ingetrek het.
In training, every eventuality has to be taken into consideration. Nothing can be left to chance. A high wind can drag a parachutist for miles after he's landed. And that's why a trooper is trained never to stand up until he has freed the canopy, using the quick release in the harness. Parabats are fit and tough, but the thing that impresses most people about them is that they use parachutes. People are fascinated by the idea that a man will voluntarily jump out of a plane that isn't actually crashing, that someone would gamble his life on a contraption of silk and string. Well, it isn't like that at all. There's more chance of being killed in a road accident than in parachuting. And today's shoots are the result of over half a century's experience. The troops are taught to parachute because they might have to do it one day in an emergency, but the bulk of the packing is done by professionals. 10 shoots a day, packed with the speed and efficiency that only practice can bring. Being a woman makes it easier to remember that that shoot will carry some mother's son. Every parachute has a logbook in which its life history is recorded. Every drop, every tiny malfunction, every tear in the fabric, the repair date, the packer's name, the supervisor's approval. It's all there.
1029. Okay. 1039.
After the parachutes have been packed, before any jump is taken by a national serviceman, what they do is, before they start fitting the equipment, they check the equipment. So he has to be happy with his equipment. He goes to his equipment. Thereafter he dons his equipment. His instructor or his dispatcher comes and checks his equipment completely. Thereafter he emplanes. And on the command, after they've become airborne, check equipment, he goes through all his equipment again. His buddy behind him checks his equipment. The instructor comes and checks his equipment again. So we find that before any jump, his equipment is checked 4 times. So there is very slim chance of him having any major malfunction with his equipment.
Major Moore. For a first jump, conditions must be perfect. No wind, spotters and medical corps on the ground in a wide open field, and aboard the Dakota, the instructors who've been with the trainees throughout the course.
Nommer 3 kry jou tone op. Nommer 3 tone op. Aansy. Nommer 1 kyk, jy dryf agtertoe op water, jy dryf agtertoe, doen iets. That's it.
Well, the normal rate of descent differs. It just depends on weather circumstance, but normally it's about 18 feet per second. That's your rate of descent, and you can come down quite hard if you don't land in the correct parachute position. There's definitely a chance of breaking something, yes.
For all the apparent bravado and bull that you hear afterwards, it's fairly obvious that most chaps are nervous before their first jump.
I hooked up in it and I was scared, you know. And once the hook clicked, I knew there's no stopping. I just had to go. So I just, you know, went ahead and I jumped out. And my mind was blank for a moment, you know, until the chute opened. And then my mind started working again. You know, I looked up and that's all, you know, I went ahead with all my drills and all that.
And did you enjoy coming down?
It was very nice. It's quite exciting.
And what about the landing?
My landing was all right. I landed on my back a bit, but the landing wasn't too bad.
And what about the next jump? You're looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm jump again. So I'm just waiting to go up again.
Well, that's probably the worst part, where you stand in the door. But it happens so quick, I mean, you haven't really got time to worry about it. But then once you're at the plane, you're like your drills and they just take over. I mean, you don't really have to think about what you're doing.
When they get out of the aircraft, the first thing they do is they look up to inspect their canopies, to make sure that their canopy is developed. Thereafter, they do all-round observation to get their own position in relation to the other jumpers in the air. Then they kick out of the C-step, and thereafter they take up a parachuting position, which allows them to do a proper landing once they get to the ground.
When you're floating down, like you seem to be going down hell of a slowly, but then the last, let's say, 30 to 50 feet, the ground seems to come up quicker. In the last few feet, it goes hell of a quickly.
It's terrible. I've never been so scared in my life.
Ja, nee, nou, die ijs is nou gebreek. Nou, is nou nie meer iets aan.
I hardly remember going out at all. No, it's unbelievable. I can't believe I'm down here eventually. No, I was scared.
Well, you've got nervous tension. You're tense. I mean, you can still make mistakes and things can still go wrong.
No, I didn't see much of the flight down. I closed my eyes and just came down.
Once they clear the aircraft, they look up, they inspect their canopies, and if the jumper is not happy with his canopy, his main canopy, he will deploy his reserve.
Number two, pull your reserve. Number two, pull your reserve. Number two, that's it, help it out. Okay. Okay, Tom. Los hom maar. Kry net jou valskermhouding reg. Nummer 2, kry jou valskermhouding reg. Daar sê. Hou net jou valskermhouding. Right, number 1, buig your bene bietjie. Number 1, bend your legs, slide your elbows in. Get your elbows in, number 1. Number 1, get your bloody elbows in. Right, nummer 2, kry jou valskermhouding reg. Lekker valskermhouding.
The permanent force, NCOs and officers, are the elite corps of the battalion.
Number 2, get your legs together.
They have more jumps to their credit than they can remember, and more stories than they are ever likely to forget.
I can remember one chap, you know, when they do their first few jumps, we have a PA system on the ground. And you can talk to them all the way. From the moment he comes out the aircraft, he can hear you talking. And I was on the DZ marking chaps doing their first jump. DZ is dropping zone. And so this one chap, he came out the airplane. He went into proper exit position and he just maintained that all the way down. And the officer was shouting on the PA system, telling him that his parachute had developed. He must now carry on with his drills. And he just kept that and he whammed right into the ground in the exit position. I ran up to him and I said, well, what's wrong with you, you know? Why didn't you do your all-round observation, all the other drills? And he just looked at me and he said, Sergeant, you know, I came out to that aircraft and somebody started speaking to me.
Talking about hard falls.
I saw that the rate of descent was very fast and we're going to have a hard fall. Anyway, I just missed the runway. And Altiko was unfortunate, you know, to land on the runway and knocked himself unconscious immediately. And the wind absolutely dragged him across this runway. It looked like a jet, you know, taking off.
These are the men who do the free-fall jumping at parades and exhibitions. But free-fall is not all for show. It plays an important role in combat. By using free-fall, paratroopers can be dropped unseen from incredible heights, far from the intended dropping zone. And with the new parachutes, like the Stratostrad, these pathfinders, as they're known, can guide their chutes in from a distance greater than 5 kilometers. Once they've landed, usually at night, they set about selecting and securing a dropping zone for the rest of the company. It's their job to check out the whereabouts of the enemy and to establish the radio contact necessary to guide the transport planes in onto the DZ. Herein lies the value of the Parabats as a fighting force. Either as support troops or in an attack, they have two things in their favor: surprise and mobility. They can hit hard anywhere in South Africa within hours.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The strategic value of the Parabats as a strike force, though, is not just a question of things like mobility and the surprise factor. One thing that sometimes tends to be forgotten in the textbooks on military tactics is that an army is only as good as its soldiers, and those soldiers are ordinary men. In the case of the Parabats, maybe not so ordinary. Their esprit de corps is exceptional.
Remember the sergeant that fights, keep your feet and your knees close together, and you'll find another very nice Roman candle.
When you get down to it, this is what it's all about. The Parabats deserve their reputation because they are prepared to get up and go, to play hard and to fight harder.
Come